When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. It's a Friday morning, and today we're talking politics. We'll have the new head chief, or the new chief executive officer of the Downtown Fresno Partnership in the building today. That's the first half hour. The second half hour, we'll be talking about water. Your water rates going up? Are they going to debate that issue again? Mark Standriff will be here, and you are there with your phone calls. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back in a moment. Back here on the program Connect with me, of course, as usual, on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this Friday morning. And glad it's Friday. The weekend is upon us. Before I get into the program today, I just want to mention something magical that happened last night. You know, even if you're not a baseball fan, you had to have just really enjoyed watching Derek Jeter last night, Yankee Stadium, his last at bat ever in the major leagues at Yankee Stadium after a 20-year career. He comes to the bat with a man on second, a line drive base hit to right, scored the winning run, and that's how Derek Jeter went out of baseball at Yankee Stadium last night. A sellout crowd. The Yankees are not in the playoffs, but still a very, very magical moment. If you didn't see it, go to the internet, dial up the Yankees website. They have the video on there. It truly is one of the most remarkable things that you'll see. I've never seen that before. Well, I haven't anyway. I know it's happened in baseball. I know Ted Williams, you could mention him, last at bat at Fenway Park. He had a home run. But this was very dramatic in the place, well, they call it the house that Ruth built. This is the new Yankee Stadium. Anyway, today on the program, we're talking politics once again, and we want your phone calls on this. You're watching us on Comcast 187 and 43.6, along with 13.1 now on Me TV Fresno. And today we're going to be talking and rehashing this thing with the Fulton Mall. I know you want to call in on this, 436-ME-TV option 11. I know you know what the Fulton Mall looks like. We'll put up a picture anyway and then roll some videotape. The Fulton Mall has been there for many, many years, since the 60s, my friends. This is how it looks today, but of course, as you well know, the city has agreed to spend, what, $19 million of federal money to redo the Fulton Mall, open it up to cars again. They figure this will help revitalize the downtown area. I'm not sure that's true or false. That's a debatable issue. This is 16mm footage, color footage no less, taken back in the 1960s when the mall was first put in. You can see the various places. It, you know, pretty much looks the same as it does today, only this takes us back about 45 or 50 years or so. But the Fulton Mall, now, I talked to our guy, Doug Vagum, and he was able to dig up some stuff on the Fulton Mall, just looking at the budget from the city of Fresno. And instead of $20 million or $19 million, you've got earmarks on here for more than $20 million. So the total package will be $43 million, which means about $20 to $23 million will be spent out of the city coffers. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll talk about that to our guest today. Live in the studio is Aaron Blair. He is the new Chief Executive Officer of the Downtown Fresno Partnership. He took over in July, replacing Kate Borders, who resigned in March to take another job across the country, I believe in Tucson, Arizona. So Aaron is here. He's ready to take your phone calls. He actually walked in today and said, I'm ready for the pounding. Here we go. 436-ME-TV option 11. Remember, he's new. He just got here in July. We'll get his answers as to what he thinks he can do with downtown. I've heard this I mean, for years, decades, okay, that they were going to revitalize downtown. Hasn't happened yet. What are your thoughts? 436 MeTV option 11. We're back with this program on Comcast in 43.6 and 13.1 in a moment.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country, the only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Back here on the show, connect with me. It's a Friday morning. We're loose as a goose here. We're ready to take your phone calls on this downtown Fulton Mall. And Aaron Blair is here, the new chief executive of the Downtown Fresno Partnership. Welcome. You know what? I barely introduced you. Yeah. We already have an angry caller on the phone. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
This is directly to Aaron. You know, yeah. He's going to have a difficult job to do what he has to do, you know, as far as the mall's concerned. But what my feeling is that the city council and the mayor should have gotten involved with all of this, because there's going to be, if they're talking about some $40 million to be done, there's going to be more. I guarantee you that. And even Aaron, being a new person that's going to have to take, you know, to be in charge, you know, he's going to have to remember he's only been there a few months or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know what? We can't criticize him, so I leave him off the side. But he's going to have a difficult job if the city council and the mayor do not get involved. I think the biggest problem, when I was a youngster coming up, the mall was a big thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think Aaron will testify too that parking is is going to be important, number one. But the number one on top of number one is security. You're going to have to get security to do foot patrol through the mall and to make sure, because family people and all that are not going to come. You got River Park over there on the north side, and you got nothing over here where a lot of people from the rural country, you know, cities used to come, you know. But security is going to be a top issue.
No
if you don't
question.
get that, you're not even, the money that you're spending is not going to be worth it.
Yeah.
So Aaron, good luck.
Okay.
And I mean in a good way, because.
Okay. You want to respond to that?
Yeah, you know, some of the interesting things he talked about security. Actually, a month ago, the Downtown Fresno Partnership, we hired our own security firm to start securing the Fulton Mall district area, which basically, you know, includes the back alley. So we've actually had that in place now for over a month, and are starting to collect some data that we can show to public.
You got money for that, huh? That's not money out of the city coffers,
No,
right?
that's our own budget. We're actually a separate entity from the city, and we have our own budget.
So you're not associated with the city of Fresno, the council or the mayor?
No.
They don't dictate to you what's going on, right?
That's right. We are actually a property owner district. So the property owners are our board of directors. So.
Yeah. Okay. So, so you agree with the security? It's, you know, it's of the utmost importance in downtown Fresno because of the perception. I know you've only been here since July, so we kind of have to, you know, we have to go easy. We have to give you a chance to mess this thing up.
Okay,
all right.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
You haven't had a chance yet, right?
Yeah,
or to make it
right.
right, or to make it right, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we are, you know, the security is a top priority for us. We realize that, the property owners realize that, and we are taking every avenue we have to do that. So.
All right. I have a recent article. It was printed in the Fresno Bee. I just, you know, I took it out here and pasted it and read it and read it again and read it about 14,000 times. And one of the quotes that continues to stick out, okay, is, and I would expect this from a newcomer.
Okay.
And this is a quote in the Fresno Bee by you.
Okay.
You say that Fresno's downtown is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's a direct quote.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
you didn't really mean that, did you?
Right. Actually, I do mean that. I mean, you know, one of the things that I look at that make it amazing is that there are historic structures there. There's great urban fabric. There's some cool loft projects going on. Our residential loft projects have 95% occupancy.
Are you talking about the Yosemite projects?
Well, there's not just theirs, but yes, they're included.
That's
in that
one
as
of
well.
them.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's right.
I want to delve into more of this statement that you made because I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air on this cynical program on this cynical Friday. Go ahead.
Yeah, I work downtown, and I got to tell you, like the other gentleman that called in said, one of the main components, a problem is going to be is parking. The city for a while, they took out the parking meters, and really a lot of people did begin to come downtown, and then when they got into trouble financially, they said, well, let's try and scalp the parkers again, so they put the meters back in to try and generate some kind of revenue, and everybody went away. When the Fulton Mall was first built, they built those parking areas next to it, adjacent to it, but again, they charged revenue or money for you to park in there, so that again was not a real enticing thing for people to go down there for. Another thing is, I can go to the convention center when they have an opera or a philharmonic or whatever, but there's nothing in terms of a family type restaurants or anything like that for anyone to go down there for. Essentially the downtown closes down at 5 p.m. when all the government workers go home. So there's nothing really in the mall in terms of restaurants or any type of services to keep someone coming. So, essentially, like I said, it locks up at 5 o'clock, so there's nothing for anybody down there.
Yeah.
And in terms of security, I've worked at, like, the Warner's Theater, and I've had homeless people throwing bottles at me when I'm trying to load up, equipment and stuff in my truck. I've had people, throwing bottles and stuff at me just to try and get money. When you turn them down, you say, well, I don't got any money. They'll throw bottles and stuff at you. So what good is it? What good is downtown? You can tear it all out, put cars there, but once you put those meters back in, no one's going to want to go downtown.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate that. And, let me pick up on what the caller is saying. You can respond to the caller's, concerns. But when you say Fresno's downtown is amazing, here's what is not amazing about it. You have blight. You have the homeless problem, which he just brought up. The perception is that it's unsafe. There is not enough security. Even the San Francisco Giants told the Grizzlies, you have no security around that stadium. There's the parking situation. No one wants to pay to park when they can go to River Park and they can park their car for free.
Yeah.
So how does that make downtown amazing?
Yeah, well, I look at it from being in several different downtowns throughout my career and through my life, and what does this downtown have in terms of an urban fabric? What does it have to offer for future redevelopment? And that's when I'm framing a statement of downtown's amazing. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, what are the attributes that it has? So when someone that's in downtown regeneration or in urban design field, when they come into a city, they look at, okay, what type of things does this city have to build on? So when I look at downtown, I'd say, okay, this downtown's amazing. We have a lot of things to work with. We have a lot of activities in several pockets. It's about joining those together.
I want to talk about those attributes that you talk about one by one specifically. We're talking with Aaron Blair. He is the Chief Executive Officer of the Downtown Partnership. He's new. He's only been here since July. And we're going to continue our conversation here. 436 MeTV option 11. Back in a moment.
Considering solar? Whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call Solar Negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call Solar Negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
Back here in the program talking with Aaron Blair. He is from the Downtown Fresno Partnership, just hired here in July. So the attributes, I want to get into it before we run out of time here. Only got about 15 minutes left. The attributes of downtown Fresno are as follows.
Right.
What?
Okay, good or urban design. So in terms of street connection, not blocking off streets. Now I've seen in downtown we have some street ends that have begun to be blocked off. And again, the mall does that as well with Fulton Street. It breaks that urban design, which is important in a city because urban design is what leads to walkability in a city. So we have a pretty decent urban design footprint here. We have some great historic buildings, a lot of old historic theaters that may not necessarily become theaters again, but they're great for repurposing. There's a substantial amount of residential construction going on, and like I said, with having almost over 90% occupancy rate, I mean, that's astounding in a downtown. I mean, that shows that there's a need for residential development. So for us to see that, that's a great attribute to have.
Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air with Aaron Blair. What's your question?
Yes. Well, the thing is that they've been talking about doing something different to the mall downtown, but no matter how much you tear down that Fulton Mall, unless you get some name businesses there, more free parking, more security, more lighting where people can feel safe, nothing's going to happen. People aren't going to be going there.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry to say this, but that's the truth.
Yeah. Well, this is thank you for the call, ma'am. I really appreciate that. A 5-year capital budget program. Individual line items on the Fulton Mall add up to about $43 million. That's in capital, not operational costs. Yeah. And there's a difference, and that's a huge thing. And I have the itemized list here from the city itself, and it doesn't say what these are for. Like it says $750,000, $20 million, $411,000, $500,000, $15 million. $1,900,000, more than $2 million, adds up to almost $43 million. So when we're told that federal money is going to come in, it'll cost us $19 million, only a couple of million of our money. Now we're looking at this.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit shocking?
I mean, of course it's shocking. I mean, I don't know exactly what this is because the Downtown Fresno Partnership doesn't serve as the overall project manager for the project.
I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. But I'm just asking your
that's the
opinion.
first time I've heard that too. Yeah, I mean, of course, that would be shocking.
But you don't hear about it.
Yeah,
I haven't heard about
actually,
it in the media.
This is the first I've heard of it too. So.
Yeah, $43 million. So maybe it's something that the city wants to keep under wraps. But how do you see the Fulton Mall fitting into this whole scheme of things downtown?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be critical. I mean, when Fulton Street becomes a street again, obviously Fulton has been the main street of downtown forever, right? So
since the 60s, yeah.
So, in terms of our focus is going to be economic development over the next 2 years to make it come back. So.
Yeah. All right, caller, what's your question?
Yes, my question is, if I live in Fresno and I live, say, out on Nice or something like that, in that area, why would I want to go and shop downtown?
Yeah.
I could go to River Park. I can go to a lot of the different shopping centers. Why would I want to drive all the way downtown to go shop? Is there a reason why I should go downtown? So far, what you said is the streets connect and those sort of things. Yeah. That's not why I go down. That's not why I shop. I'm looking for something specific, and I go shop. Yep. Downtown really doesn't offer that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, did you answer that, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a wonderful question.
Yeah, that's a fair question. I mean, what
are you going to go downtown for now? There's nothing there.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree with him. With the caller, I'm not going to disagree. And, one of those, when someone asks me that, why should I come from the great suburbs that are far out? And a lot of times, if I'm not going to make you come downtown, or we're not going to make you. Our goal is to develop a great neighborhood and a great community in downtown, and it's going to be just like River Park does. It caters to the neighbors.
But what do you think this downtown needs to attract people?
When you think about great downtowns have everything that a neighborhood has. So, we may never draw from the suburbs around River Park on a consistent basis, and that's okay.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, it's okay. It really is okay.
And it can still thrive without that fundamental base from the north area?
I believe so, yeah.
All right, but what do you think needs to be done to revitalize? Because I've heard this term revitalize until I'm blue in the face for the last 20-something years.
Right.
And they put the stadium down there at a cost of $50 million, and they said, oh, this is going to help revitalize downtown.
Right.
but they put nothing around it for people to enjoy. It's just a stadium. That's it. And you have blight around it. You have a fire station across the street. So what can you put down there to make this place like a magnet?
Yeah, understood. Well, you know, it's all about private sector investment. So a lot of times what you'll see in initial redevelopment is a lot of public sector investment to jumpstart things. But if it's not quickly followed up with private sector development, it will go into a holding pattern, which is most likely what's happened here. So that's why our focus from the partnership is going to move beyond just doing events and marketing. Is we're going to be very aggressive when it comes to economic development and really going after the private sector.
So you're going after private sector in Albany, Germany. Albany, Georgia, where you came from. That was your prior job. You recruited 30 new businesses to the tune of $4 million in private investment in that downtown area. But how do you compare that to Fresno? Can you do that here?
Yeah, no doubt we can't. You know, we can do that here as well.
You can do it here?
We as a team, our team at the Downtown Fresno Partnership, that's our goal, and that's
okay.
That's why we're here. So
Aaron, take me through the process. Let's say I'm a business guy. I'm worth like $50 million, $100 million.
Yep.
Give me your 1 minute pitch to get me to come to downtown Fresno.
Well, you know, first we need to have you here in downtown so we can show you what we're working on. I mean, I can't get you to invest in something based off what you see today. We have to be able to show you where we're going, the things we're doing, some of the new successful businesses. You know, Peeves is a great draw right now. Tagua Sequoia Brewery down there is a great draw. These two are really building a base for downtown and are really drawing the population within our 1 mile radius of downtown. And that's our goal, is downtown needs to own the 1 mile radius around us. In terms of population, what those people do, they need to fully associate themselves with downtown, and then we branch out in all of our.
But give me a reason to come down to Fresno and invest, say, I don't know, 20 million of my money.
And, you know, here's the situation today. If I were to bring you down today, I probably am going to have a very difficult time trying to convince you to invest. Once we actually begin construction on Fulton Street, then it's a whole different situation. It's a whole different ball game.
How so?
Because now you actually see that there's this active construction going on. You know, most investors that have large sums of money, they have to be able to see a return. So if I can't bring you in and show you how you can make a return, I'm not going to be able to convince you. So I always have to show you how to make a return.
Hey, got to take a break. We're talking with Aaron Blair. He's kind enough to take his time to come in today, and I appreciate it very much. By the way, there's a court hearing in about 7 or 8 minutes or so. In Superior Court. It's the Environmental Impact Report filing a lawsuit regarding that EIR by a group of 1,000 Friends of Fresno. So we'll see how that comes out. They're trying to stop the reconstruction or the tearing out of Fulton Mall. Back with your phone calls in just a moment.
The Armenians. They arrived in the Central Valley over 100 years ago, and with them they brought their old world traditions. The Armenian Cultural Foundation of Fresno invites you to the Armenian Food Festival on September 27, 2014. Enjoy authentic shish kebab, mouth-watering desserts, live Armenian music and dancing, traditional dance performances, children's games and activities, farmers market, and more. All in Fresno's historic Old Armenian Town. For more details, visit FresnoArmenianFest.com.
Back here talking with Aaron Blair, the Downtown Fresno Partnership. And again, well, we got a phone call here. Okay, we'll talk about that in a moment. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, hello. I just wanted to say, since you got all the complaints about how bad and dangerous it is, why don't you use the people that you have there, instead of trying to get rid of them? Like, they got the housing authorities that helps with housing. They got the California Hotel that houses people, you know, with problems. Get more, use what you have, you know, cater to them, you know, and maybe you can draw some revenue out of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and if I can understand what she was saying, it was kind of catering to some of the existing tenants that are downtown. Right. Is that what she said?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the gist of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you know, that's something that we do look at. We look at, you know, a true neighborhood reaches all demographics and all income types. So, I mean, obviously that's a goal, and that's something that we're extremely sensitive to when we're going out to recruit businesses. We got to realize, you know, what are our existing demographics and how can we get businesses that meet those demographics.
You also said in this article right here that we want to make sure that everyone knows that downtown is the heartbeat of our community.
That's right. Right.
How do you do that?
Well, you do that a lot from marketing, and we'll continue to do marketing.
Television ads?
Yeah, everything. Radio ads, TV ads, videos.
You want to advertise here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. When you move downtown, we will gladly advertise with you.
We are downtown.
Yeah, I'm just joking with you. I'm just kidding.
No, but okay, you can market and you can talk a good game, but you also have to deliver the goods.
That's right, and that's why one of our strategic focuses is that every time something's happening downtown, whether it's a small construction project, whether it's a increase in the sewer lines or anything, we will continue to promote that. Look what's going on. Look what's going on. We're making small steps, and every little victory that we have, we're going to continue to promote.
Is opening up Fulton Mall the right thing to do?
I think that it probably is at this point, yes. I believe that it is at this point. It's the right thing to do. Could Fulton Mall have been fixed at some point? Probably, but that was probably several years ago.
Yeah, another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me direct the question real quick to Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm returning the call, or that prior, the lady that was talking about, what she was trying to get in, what they're going to do. But okay, if Aaron doesn't do his job, and they don't bring people, let's say from the north side coming over here,
right,
they're going to destroy Fulton Mall, because we cannot just let anybody come, to this area, and I'm not putting down any people, because in my days, and I'm older, it was a different thing. Situations are different now.
Yeah,
but Aaron has a tough job. We can't criticize him for what he's trying to do.
No.
And this caller, this meeting that's going to be going on about, all this stuff that is going to try to stop Aaron to do his job, is crazy. You'll destroy Fulton Mall no matter what they do. But I'm a person as this. In order for us, or for Fresno to draw the people into Fulton Mall again, they're going to have to do what I talked about earlier. Number one, okay, everybody talks about this, criticizing that, but I definitely think that people that are going to come from the north side or wherever, Sanger, Selma, and all that, have to see that there is a change in the Fulton Mall, and forget 40 years ago. That's gone.
Okay.
And
all right.
I give him an A for an effort for right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you, caller. I appreciate your time. Yeah, we're not criticizing you here. We're just debating the issue, and you're not on here to get pounded or anything like that. We're just joking around. I have tougher skin than that. What's that?
I have tougher skin than that.
Yeah, okay. I know you don't have thin skin. I mean, none of us. Hey, listen, we all take a pounding at some point. But so, I mean, the Fulton Mall.
Yeah.
If you look at it, I mean, I'm trying to think right now. Okay, you open that thing up to cars.
Yeah.
So what's that going to do? You're going to drive by instead of walking by.
Right.
I don't know how unless you have businesses there. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm trying to rack my brain and put my brain around it. I just can't understand it.
Yeah, it's not just about putting the street through. I mean, the street is part of the process that we're going through. I mean, in order for us to do our job, it makes it easier to have the street through there to give the businesses and the spaces better accessibility.
But wouldn't it be better to put businesses there so people can walk by and stop in the store, as opposed to driving by and polluting the air and looking for a parking spot and not knowing where they're going, and gee, I'm turned around. Okay, where am I going to park?
Well, it's a similar philosophy when it comes to suburban shopping mall. I mean, what do people want to do? They want to drive up and park right in front of the business. So this is going to actually allow them to do such. So
okay, one more call here, and then we got to go.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
I kind of think that $20 million that they gained from the federal government, that's going to be put to waste. I mean, the Fulton Mall is really, it's like a fashion fair. It's like a Manchester Center. It's just without the roof. It's a wonderful place to go down to. It's open air, and San Antonio has a wonderful mall, where you can walk along the river and so forth, But it's just that the demographics in terms of the downtown have changed over the 40 years, and you don't have the affluency there that you did at one time, and so really, I think if you just, I don't foresee the Fulton Mall, when you take it out, being like a fashion fair or being turned into a fashion fair, because you're never going to have those big name companies going down there, because they're never going to be able to make them any revenue or be able to hold up, because of the fact that you're in a poor and blighted area.
Right.
Okay. You got a lot of poor neighborhoods in that area.
All right.
You're never going to be able to, to maintain it.
Right. Okay. Caller, I appreciate your input very much. Yeah, you have to do something different than what River Park has to attract people. Right. Why would you want to do the same thing that River Park has? You don't. And you said, by the way, and I want to reiterate, you don't need the North Side to succeed, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we want the North Siders to come to downtown Fresno. Of course, I mean, I don't want to say we don't need you, don't come. Of course, we want them to come, but this whole philosophy is that we can't make it unless everyone from the North Side comes. There's a lot of successful stories around the United States, and we're going to be the next one.
By the way, the Fulton Mall, $19 million of federal money, another additional $23 million or so of city money because of these line items or earmarks, so to speak, in the budget. And these line items add up to about $43 million, all told. And that's a capital, not operational, for Fulton Mall. They're going to start construction, tearing that place out when?
Yeah, we're hearing March is around the time frame. Obviously, once the city selects a contractor, maybe it'll be February, maybe it'll be May. Kind of depends, or April. It kind of depends on once that contractor is selected, but we're hearing March.
Okay. Yep. Hey, you're welcome on this program anytime.
Yeah.
I hope you come back again.
Of course, anytime you want me.
Okay, thank you. Aaron Blair, the new chief guy. He's the head chief cook and bottle washer down there at the Fresno Downtown Partnership, and we're glad to have him on the program here. We're going to come back with our second guest here, Mark Standriff, City of Fresno, talking about water rates. Once again, you thought this was over with the water thing. Not so. Back in a moment.
You can find movies on over-the-air channel 13.3. Movies. Our name says it all.
Tough TV is the first digital broadcast network to offer first-run original programming targeted at men. Tough TV features content that men are passionate about. Sports.
No matter what happens in the fight, good right, left. Coming on strong.
Lifestyle.
What we've done is we've created a technology that allows us to run video games in extremely powerful servers in server centers.
Drama.
Did you cause this?
Reality.
Welcome to this edition of Eye for an Eye. Now, today in court, we have the case of the reckless brother who tried to unravel his own family ties.
Talk.
Bam, we have a winner!
Specials.
I'm Dick Butkus. Welcome to the Butkus Awards TV special.
And movies.
Everybody on your knees, put your hands on the table.
Sports, lifestyle, drama, reality, talk, specials, and movies. Are you tough enough?
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hello there, my friends. Welcome back to the second half of the program here on Connect with Me. You're watching us, of course, on Comcast, channel 187, live, and 43.6, and now 13.1. You already know about all the replays, so why go through them? You got a 2 o'clock replay and an 8 o'clock replay tonight, so you can catch us here. We're here until 11 o'clock. We do have a phone call, but we're going to change topics here. I want to get into this monologue because we're talking about water. And yes, we're going to revisit this again. You thought it was over when Doug Vacum finally settled this thing with the city. Hey, not totally true, my friends. Let's put up the full screen so you can see. The Recharge Fresno meetings will take place. The first one to take place this coming Monday. This is going to be about Fresno water supply issues. The public is invited. It takes place at Hoover High School, 6 to 8:30 at night. This is for you, my friends, the viewers at home, the public in general, invited Monday night, September the 29th, to talk water issues with the people from the city of Fresno. The next meeting will take place at Fresno's Water Future. Well, that's the name of the meeting, but it'll be Monday, October the 13th at, I think, Oraz. I think that's the correct pronunciation. Elementary school, 6 to 8:30 again. The public is invited. This is a public forum, so you can have your input all you want. So it's an hour and a half. And then the third meeting will be paying for Fresno's water needs, taking place Monday, October 27th at Rutherford B. Gaston Middle School. Again, all these take place between 6 and 8:30. Again, you're invited to this one, so if you've got time, you're concerned about water rates, you're urged to show up to all of these meetings. It's called Recharge Fresno. And then the summary and City of Fresno, what will take place in terms of the next steps. Okay, this includes the mayor, the politicians, which is the city council. That meeting at City Hall takes place Monday, November the 10th. Again, 6 to 8:30. That's when the politicians will all get together and talk about this. And here to talk about Recharge Fresno and the meetings is Mark Standriff, live in our studio now, waiting to take your phone calls. He is the Director of Communications and Public Affairs man for the City of Fresno. You already know the telephone number by now, my friends, 436-ME-TV option 11. We've only got about 24 minutes left in the program, so call in, ask your questions. Mark will be here to explain what's going on with Recharge Fresno and the 3 public meetings that will take place. We're back here in just a moment.
Considering solar? Whether you're ready to buy now or just exploring your options, the consultants at Solar Negotiators are here to help you. A call to Solar Negotiators is like calling 5 solar companies at once. You see, when local established solar contractors have gaps in their schedule, they call Solar Negotiators to fill them. Right now, get 5 years of panel cleaning and maintenance or $1,000 off your new solar panels. So stop wasting your time searching and call Solar Negotiators, because when contractors compete for your business, you win.
Here live, Comcast 187, 43.6, and now 13.1. And guess what? Mark Standriff is back here on the program. Good to see you, Mark, on this Friday morning. So this Recharge Fresno thing, I'm a little surprised at this because me, just like everyone else, I thought this water thing was over. The rates roll back to 2013. The rates back then, August of 2013. What are these meetings designed to do?
Well, we still have the water crisis. We still have a situation where we've got this aging infrastructure here in the city of Fresno, some pipes that are 80, 90 years old. We have a serious amount of underdevelopment when it comes to the issue of recharging the underground aquifer that 90% of our water has been coming from for the last 100 years or so. And I think more importantly, you know, taking advantage of opportunities that we already have there. You know, one of the things that most people don't know is that the city of Fresno has an abundant supply of water at its disposal. And that comes out of the Sierra Mountains every single year.
Except this year.
Well, but it did earlier this year.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I know. A lot went down into the bay.
Right.
So.
And we have the rights to this water. We pay for those rights every single year, but we have no physical way to capture it right now, to be able to treat it. And in dry years, that amount of water, it's like 180,000 acre feet. That more than handles, even in a dry year, the amount of water that the city of Fresno and its residents and businesses need to be able to maintain just, you know, regular water supplies. In normal and wet years, we could be recharging that huge underground aquifer. And frankly, with the stuff that's been coming out of Sacramento recently, when it comes to groundwater, you know, they've got this big Groundwater Sustainability Act that the governor just signed that basically says, hey,
it limits what you can get out of the ground, but it won't take effect for a few years.
No, but it also says to those folks, if you can't take care of your groundwater, we're going to step in and take care of it for you.
It's pretty much like putting a water meter on these wells, basically, is what it's doing.
Yes,
right?
but you know, we have a number of wells that come out of this groundwater aquifer, and so we have an opportunity for us to basically make Fresno drought resilient.
Right.
That was the plan that went through before. Of course, obviously with Measure W, there was a challenge to those rates. Thought they were too high, too fast. So what we thought we'd do as part of the settlement agreement, this gives us an opportunity for a big do-over, to be able to go back and not only bring back together city officials, experts, taxpayer and ratepayer advocates like Doug Vagan, and the general public, to be able to say, okay, let's take a look at where we are. How did we get here? How do we want to move forward? And what's the best way to make that investment so that we don't put a burden on the low and fixed income residents here in Fresno?
Right. Okay, by law, though, I mean, by law, you cannot charge someone less for water just because they are on the lower income side. I mean, Darius Assemi is going to be paying the same for water that you and I are. By law.
But the city of
by
Fresno
law. So you can't
pays
give
the same
somebody
thing.
a break on water. It's against the law.
I know,
so
but
we know that.
I think getting into the specifics right now is putting the cart in front of the horse. In fact,
Right.
one of the reasons why we're doing something different with these particular forums that I think is going to be very interesting, especially for the general public that sat through any kind of government meeting and gotten a 45 to 60-minute PowerPoint presentation that they expect to digest on a very complex subject and then ask
Promise
for
me
questions
there'll be
or
no
answers.
PowerPoints.
No,
at
there
these
won't be any
meetings.
PowerPoints. There
Thank
will be
goodness.
some images that we'll put up on the screen, but they're designed to be very fluid and very responsive. We have a third-party moderator who's coming in, somebody who's independent, who's going to be facilitating these discussions. There'll be a short presentation by the city at the beginning of this first one that will basically be concentrating on the overall issue. What's our situation on the ground, actually with water right now, and how did we get here? And more importantly, what opportunities do we have to get past some of these challenges? Then the next one deals with solutions. Let's look at the plan that Fresno had in place before. Is it still the right way to go?
Yeah.
We've got some fresh faces and fresh voices in city government right now. Tommy Escueda, who was scheduled to be here with me, Director of Public Utilities, is a guy who's got a wealth of experience who's coming in and saying, well, wait a minute here. We don't have to do it this way. There's a better way. There's maybe a more cost-efficient or effective way to do it. Then the third meeting, we start talking about the rates. So we've understood what the problem is, what the potential solutions are. Let's talk about the way to finance and invest in this, again, so that it's reasonable and fair.
All right. Hey, do we have that graphic from the water rates 2013 and in 2014? Do we have that? Let's put that up on the screen here. 2013, that's what you're looking at, 1838. And then fast forward to 2016, we'd go up to 4830. Of course, the rate that you're looking at there, that was rolled back because of the Doug Vagan. It was Measure W, it was on the ballot, and then everything was settled, so the rates go back to 2013. But, okay, here's what's going through my mind, Mark. That these water meetings, and we put them up on the screen, again, all the dates and times and places and all that. This is another effort by the city to say, hey, look, okay, we lost the Doug Vagan, but you know what? We still want to raise your water rates because we have to fix that infrastructure. We need to raise your water rates. So tell us what a fair price is to raise them. Are you going to get anybody in there to say, hey, yeah, you can raise them? Here's what I think you ought to raise them to. Here's what I can afford.
What I think you're going to end up getting, John.
Do you think a lot of people are thinking the same thing?
No, I think there's a lot of people out there who, they don't want their rate. I don't want my rates to go up, but I also know that they're artificially low. In fact, I wish you had another graphic up there that would show where Fresno's rates are right now compared with the rest of the state and the rest of the United States that are dealing with drought conditions like we've been in for the last 2 years. The city council.
Do you know some of those numbers?
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. You're looking at anywhere from, I think, Riverside and Stockton have rates right now that are well in the $40 range on the average per month. You're looking at cities like San Francisco, San Diego, and Los Angeles that have rates $150, $200 per month.
But their economic situation is different, though.
Well, and see, that's one of the reasons we need to kind of get into the discussion about what's reasonable and fair. Because the city council has kicked the can down the road, frankly, for too long on this particular issue. That they've been very hesitant to do any kind of infrastructure improvements or to raise those rates on a consistent basis because of the fact that it hasn't really followed with inflation. It hasn't followed with the needs of the community to make sure that we've got a good, safe, clean, reliable water supply. And I think that that's an investment that people are going to say, look, I'm not crazy about rates having to go up, but let's do it in a way so it's not jacked up immediately. Let's stretch it out. Maybe it's certainly going to be less than the proposal that we had before. but let's try to figure out a way. Maybe there's a different form of funding. Maybe there's an opportunity, instead of doing a ratepayer thing, maybe it's property tax that would be put a sunset clause on it that would have a limited time to be able to move that forward. These are all options that should be on the table and that will be discussed in the middle of these forums.
I'm getting the wave. I got to take a break. Mark Standriff is here. He is Communications Director for the City of Fresno. Water rates, the topic today. 436-MeTV option 11. Had a lot of phone calls that first half hour, but water is just as important as the downtown issue. Back in just a moment.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Culp as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
Back here on the program, water, of course, is the issue of the day. So do you expect, if you go down this road again, talking about raising water rates, Mark, that I don't know if it's going to be Doug Begum, but do you see opposition up there that's maybe going to try to stand in your way again?
Well, here's you know, the reality of anything that happens in city government, especially when you're dealing with the issue of rates and taxpayer rights or what have you. You know, we want to make sure that there is as open and transparent a dialogue as we possibly can, so that there's no question afterwards that we're all kind of on board. We may not agree specifically with every single detail, but the idea of these forums is to start the process going so that we actually get to the Prop 218 portion of it, which will send out a ballot which has very specific language on it, much different than the one we sent out before, that says this is an urgent ballot that we would like to have you send back that deals directly with increasing your water rates.
But do you sense that there'll be a protest again because you want to raise the water rates?
I would hope that in the course of the dialogue that we have ongoing, that we are going to be, you know, giving everybody the opportunity that wants a voice to have a voice in this, so that we get to the point where it's like, look, here's what the investment is going to be. How do you feel about it? That the overwhelming response is going to be yes, we agree.
And if it's no?
Well, then we're back at the drawing board. But here's one of the other discussion points that we want to have, and it's why it's especially important that we want people to come to this Monday session, is we're dealing with the situation right now, and frankly, what happens if we don't do anything? If we just kind of leave things at the status quo?
Let's take this call here. Caller, are you there?
Yes.
Good morning.
You know, the gentleman talks about, recharging our, the city is very good at recharging our underground water aquifer and so forth, but he makes it sound like there's like a big tank under there that nobody but the city of Fresno touches. And that's just not true. You have farmers that feed off that same aquifer and so forth. And they also drop their pesticides and so forth in it as well. Many urban areas like Raisin City and so forth have problems with their water and so forth. You see them all the time in the news. How does the city of Fresno, I mean, we're doing our part, I'm sure you are, in terms of trying to recharge our aquifer. How do you get other entities from doing the same thing, from assisting in recharging its aquifer as well?
Okay, well, I'm not understanding the final part of the question, but I do agree with you in the beginning, and as a matter of fact, you're right. In fact, the city of Clovis has it, the city of Fresno has it. There's a number of wells and farmers that are out there.
So forth, from overfeeding off the same water source that we have.
Well, I'm not sure about what to do. That's where the state kind of steps in and we'll look at the use of groundwater in general. From our standpoint, and I'm sorry if you got the impression that I thought that it was just going to be the city of Fresno that's going to be affected. There's this giant underwater mountain, basically, that we and other folks, including farmers, city of Clovis, some of the other well sites around the county, what have you, have been drawing from, for the last 100 years or so. The caller is also correct, is that the deeper that you get down there, and this aquifer has dropped over 100 feet so far. We've got some wells that the city of Fresno that operates have dropped 22 feet in the last 7 years.
Nobody knows how much is under there. But I want to get back to the water rates possibly going up. And this is one of the things that I remember from, of course, the water fight. I used to call it the water fight here on the program. Doug Begum claimed that the majority of this money, $350 million to build this this water plant on the east side, 71% of that will go to the plant, and then to build a new pipeline going from Olive and Armstrong to the Friant-Kern Canal, which crosses, of course, the Kings River, and that's out there by Trimmer Springs, that's out there by Sanger. So if what Doug Vagum claimed in the past is true, is that still true today? Is that what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, that plan is still on the table, but again, one of the reasons why we're having these forums is to bring in people from the city, from experts that are out there that have a vast amount of experience. We've got people from Fresno State coming in, from the U.S. Geological Service, from the Department of Water, that will be coming our way to be able to discuss these things. And that's why we're also inviting people like Doug Vagum to come in and to give their opinions on these things, to share their feedback on this.
So there's the full screen right there. It's Monday, September 29th, Fresno water supply issues. Who's invited to this?
Everybody.
Who is everybody?
Everybody.
So let's say you get 1,000 people at Hoover High on Monday night. Everybody can speak?
Well, you've got a limited amount of time, so
Right.
we're not going to be able to get 1,000 people in there, and that's why we have a third-party independent moderator who's going to be coming in to make sure that we also stay on track, so that we're not either, first of all, getting too far down the road, or more importantly, start getting into other city issues like code enforcement or bike paths or what have you.
Right. It's strictly water,
That's
but are
right.
you prepared for someone to walk up to the microphone and shake their finger at city officials and say, "You're trying to raise my water rates again, and I don't like it"?
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
what do you do?
Well, we want that input.
Okay.
And again,
and everybody's input and their comments and their opinions will be accounted for.
Yes, and they're also going to be recorded. One of the great things we're also doing with this one that's completely different from anything the city of Fresno has done before is it's broadcast live. CMAC is also providing this on Comcast. I think Comcast is 96.
96.
96, and AT&T Uverse, channel 99. They're also going to be streaming it live on their website at cmac.tv, and we're recording it and putting it on the website for this entire process called rechargefresno.com, where you can go to, you can look at it anytime. We'll have a comment form that should be live on the page right now, so that if you didn't get a question in, or if you want to follow up for something that you heard there, you can continue that conversation even when we're not having these forums. Because here's the thing. We want to do a better job of not only connecting with the public and letting them know what our plans are, but more importantly, getting feedback from them to say, are we on the right track? Are we acting in a responsible and reasonable manner? And I think that that's absolutely fair, and I'd like people just to kind of give us the chance to go through the process again and to do it right this time.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to show up at one of these meetings and see what goes on, but you can watch it on CMAC. That's the government channel, Comcast channel 186. Hey, you're watching us on Comcast at 187 each and every day here on Connect with Me. We got a phone call before we go to break. Okay, let's do that real quick. Good morning, caller. You're on with Mark Standriff. Go ahead.
Yes. One of the things I would like to address on all of this is the fact that I think a lot of people like me, we're just tired of our rates continually going up for different things, and we're paying more for less services. Like when they upped our rates for our garbage and trash pickup, which I don't know what part the street sweeper goes under, but they used to come around twice a month, and they came around twice to do the streets. Now they come around once a month, and they only go around once. Plus the trash pickup, those people really are doing a lousy job lately of when they're picking up trash. They knock the cans around, they drop them, so we have to go out there and pick them up because they're laying down and stuff like that. So,
well, you need to,
we can't afford our rates going up at all. So all of these different things let's back up, and then, now we're going to face it in a different direction, but they're still talking about our rates going up.
All right. All right. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. We're running short on time. I think I can paraphrase what she's saying. My PG&E bill is going up. My insurance is going up. Gosh, my house payment. Now I had to refinance. That might be going up. I've got car insurance. Now you're talking about raising my water rate. Everything combined is going up. So I think that's what the average person is worried about.
That is, it's definitely a valid concern. Look, folks,
you're in the same boat.
I've got a household too. I mean, I go to the grocery store and I see, egg prices going up, milk prices jacking up. Thank goodness gas prices are dropping a little bit these days.
Well, not much.
But again, from our standpoint, we have an opportunity to do something that no other city in California does. When we talk about the drought and the water crisis, every other community is out there screaming, where are we going to get the water? We know where the water is. We have the rights to it. We're already paying for it. So
right,
why
but
not
you don't
make
pay
that
the feds if you don't use the water, right?
No, we do.
You pay them even if we don't take it and use it?
We pay for the rights to make sure that if one day when we can finally start to capture it and treat it,
I see.
That it's available to us. Because if not, then we end up going to the back of the line.
All right, another call before we go here. You're on Connect with me. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, so, we had that graphic up there that showed the rates and so forth, and then at the bottom of it you see a meter fee. I'm sorry, you there?
Yeah, no, we're here. We're listening to you. We put the rates up again. Go ahead.
Anyway, you see a meter fee at the bottom there. I'm kind of asking myself, well, I could like turn off my water completely and still get charged a meter fee, for whatever reason, because I don't see anybody down here maintaining that meter, So I'm asking myself, why do I pay $13.51 for? So the city of Fresno keeps nitpicking and they call it a fee, but it's really a tax. I mean, let's just call it what it is. And it's like, so, you want to raise it up to $19, and it's like, well, for what? Why do you want to raise it up to $19 for when you've done nothing for it?
But caller, it's not going to be raised to $19.
It may take a little bit longer to fix the infrastructure, the water lines and so forth, but,
Okay. Thank you for the call. I really appreciate it. The water rates have been rolled back, so you're not going to be paying that $19 meter fee. It's back to $13.51, just like it was in 2013. But we're talking about these meetings. Let's put the meetings up on the board again here so we can see. Monday night, of course, the 29th, Hoover High, 6 to 8:30 p.m. So, yeah, I mean, it's the water meter fee. I mean, what are you going to do? I don't know what to say about it.
The fact that we actually went to the water meters has done a tremendous job. In fact, I want to compliment everybody in Fresno for doing an incredible job for being able to, really kind of maintain that conservation mindset that we've had for the last 20 years. From July to 2014 compared to July 2013, the water consumption in Fresno is down 8%. For the month of August, it went down 16%.
We've only got 2 minutes left. I want to ask you two more important questions.
Sure.
Okay, this East Side water plant.
Yes.
No water rates. Can it still be done? I'm talking about this project.
Oh, if we don't make the investment. Well,
can you still build the plant without raising the rates?
I'm not sure about that, but again, that's one of the reasons we're having these discussions.
To do it?
Then that's why we need to have these discussions. Let's have one forum that's just about rates. What are the options that are out there? But I guess when you're building a plant that size, that there's a tremendous, and the city of Fresno certainly has had its economic challenges through the years. Typically what you do is you find a way to finance it, and then find a way to pay it off.
So quickly, these meetings are almost like a fact-finding mission, in a way.
Right. Well, it's a combination of two things. It's illumination and enlightenment for both sides. So we illuminate what the situation is, and we provide all the different options and potential solutions that are out there. And the enlightenment comes back from the experts, from the folks who are ratepayer and taxpayer advocates, and the general public to see, okay, again, as we present the situation, if you know exactly where we stand, what happens if we don't do something, what are our solutions, and then have we found a reasonable and fair solution to all of our water problems right now.
Fair enough. Okay, quickly, one more question here and then we got to go. But
sure.
When you came in today, I want to ask you about this because you're talking about water theft. Is that a major problem right now in the city of Fresno?
No, we had an isolated issue that came up here. Unfortunately, some folks out there that, for whatever reason felt they could go to a hydrant and just take whatever they needed. We're not doing that. We're not dealing with it nearly as much as I understand Clovis is right now. But from our standpoint, we're trying to find ways to make sure that we make the D word irrelevant in Fresno, and we have that opportunity. Whether or not we can find an equitable means to be able to invest in that, and then to find the ratepayer solution to it, that remains to be seen.
Well, let's hope that doesn't start. I hope that doesn't become a pattern. This stealing of water someplace. I mean, copper wire is the big thing. Or was the big thing.
And that is a big issue.
Yeah, that's a huge issue. Let's hope they don't start in on water because we don't need that, certainly. Mark Standriff, you're always welcome here. You know that, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call me back anytime.
Hey, when I go on vacation, maybe you can fill in.
Oh, that would be, folks.
That'd be horrendous, wouldn't
really,
it?
honestly, there's no going back. Once I get up there, they'll be tearing down the building.
I'm giving you a hard time, but doggone it. Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Yes,
hey, have a great
you.
weekend.
You too.
All right. Good to see you. Mark Standriff, the Communications Director for the City of Fresno. Hope you have a great weekend. We're back here on Monday. Nick Papagni will be here to tear down, or not tear down, I think analyze what's going on at Fresno State and their football team. We're back on Monday. Have a wonderful, safe, and blessed weekend.